Thank you, viewers, for staying with us. Welcome back. I'm Natalie Sealy-Richardson, your host for this morning. And it is Friday, the 27th of September, just in case you were wondering. And with me this morning in studio is Makida Gray and Candice Campbell-Lyons. Now, Makida is the founder of a very special NGO. And I know NGOs have their causes, but I would point out this one because it covers an area we seldom speak about and address. So she's going to tell you the name of the foundation and a little of what they do, and then we will hear from Candice Campbell-Lyons. She is one of the pre and postnatal fitness coaches. Are you the only one in Tobago who does that, Candice?
Well, I would say I'm the only person that really publicized it. There are a couple other persons,
Okay.
but in terms of pushing that they do this service,
Right.
I would say I'm the only one.
All right. So pre and postnatal fitness coach, we have Candice, and she'll tell us a little bit about what she does and what that entails. And we are talking about October, Baby Loss Awareness Month. It is a topic that many of us as women have experienced, whether we carried a baby full term and baby died at stillborn, or maybe you had a miscarriage. All right. And unfortunately, we live in a society that just expects us to pick up everything and move on as though it never happened.
Yeah.
So welcome this morning, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. So Makida, let's start this conversation. Tell us about the foundation. I know you have been with us, I think, 2 years ago in 2022. I'm not sure if you joined us last year as well.
For the past 3 years.
Right. Very well. So you know how this goes, right? No stranger to us. Tell us about your foundation.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Tobago and the viewers. I am Makida Gray, founder of Zafiri Foundation Initiative. Zafiri Foundation Initiative is a support group for women and families who would have been directly or indirectly affected by baby loss. And this initiative was birthed out of an experience that I had in 2015 at the Mount Hope General Hospital. I experienced stillbirth. My baby was full term, and she was born into heaven on the 18th of November 2015.
Tell us her name.
Her name is actually the name of the foundation. Her name is Sapphire, and Sapphire is translated into Zafiri in Greek. So hence we get Zafiri Foundation. Also, it was something that was like a still voice gave me the name.
Right.
Because her name is Sapphire. And during my period of pregnancy, I was diagnosed with preeclampsia during pregnancy. So I was on strict bed rest. And while at the Mount Hope General Hospital, the only thing that I was able to do in terms of interacting and moving around was puzzles or reading my Bible.
Right.
And during morning devotion, the scripture came to me, Isaiah 54, which says, "Sapphire is the foundation, and you will have pinnacles of ruby and crystal gates, and your children will be taught by the Lord." At that point in time, I did not, and I could not believe that after my experience at the hospital, I would be leaving without my baby.
Right.
And when it is I gave birth to her, and she was born into heaven, 3.5 years later, I started trying to find ways as to how to cope and what to do in honor of her. And the scripture came back to me. Sapphire is the foundation, and you'll have pinnacles of ruby and crystal gates, and your children will be taught by the Lord. And today is a very special day because it's not only a day where I'm given the opportunity to be on air today, but I'm also celebrating my rainbow baby today.
Lovely.
Today is his birthday.
How old is he today?
He's 6 today.
And what's his name?
His name is Jezreel.
Jezreel. Happy 6th birthday to you, right? And we are so happy that you can celebrate, and Mommy has you, and I know she has a special day planned for you.
So when that opportunity came back to me, I said, Makida, it's written there clear for you to see. You need to start a foundation in honor of her. Right. And my first event that I had in honor of women and families directly affected by infancy loss was in 2018. And it was just a simple tea party. And that simple tea party blossomed into Zafiri Foundation.
Yeah.
And that's why we continue to do the work that we have been doing for the past 7 years.
And let me tell you, congratulations. And we are proud of you and what you are doing, because I think it takes a special kind of person to take their pain and be there for others.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's never an easy task. It's easier to me if you're on the outside and you just come and you do this, but you have to relive your own experience every time you deal with sharing this information with us, being there for another woman and her family, you know, and I really, really am proud of what you're doing. I think it's so selfless, and thank you for doing
One
it.
of the trajectory of my life, and I realized that it helps me, and not only me, is sharing. Because when it is I experienced this in 2015, there were no support groups available in Trinidad and Tobago. At that particular time, I would have gotten assistance through my EPA at work, pastoral assistance, and from social welfare.
Right.
And beyond that, there were no other support groups available. Through different research, I would have been able to get online counseling. And then I found a support group in Trinidad, Mama Toto Birthing Center. And me interacting with them and engaging with them opened my eyes to realize that, Makida, if it is I'm going through this in 2015 and there's no support group available, imagine how many women and families are directly affected by this without any support. And it kind of opened my eyes to wanting to do something. And after I had the tea party in 2018, the feedback and the responses that I got, it was able to birth this experience.
Excellent. And again, you know, I think it's so selfless of you, and you really touched a point where it happens to so many of us as women, where we lose a baby, but we don't talk about it. And I think we don't talk about it because sometimes the comments that follow can be so insensitive, you know, and sometimes we don't have that safe space to share, and I know that your group, your foundation, allows for that. And as we talk about sharing, on the 2nd of October, you are making your monthly meeting public. So let's talk about those who may need to access the service on a monthly basis, and let's then move into the meeting invitation for all of Tobago to join.
Right. So basically, we have our monthly support meetings on the
Wednesday.
Sorry.
That's all right.
The first Wednesday of every month, we meet via Zoom. So basically, what would have happened is that after we had the event in 2018, life happened to me and I birthed my son, and I was basically down for a while. So we wasn't able to meet physically. So we said, okay, we're going to continue meeting virtually. And then the pandemic happened. So we know how life was in the pandemic. So we started via Zoom, and we just continued via Zoom for the past 5 years. We continued via Zoom for the past 5 years. But what we try to do is that every month, when it is we are engaging in our awareness month, we try to make the activities open to the public. All our activities during the year, it's open to the public, but we normally try to narrow it into a safe space for persons who are directly affected. However, what it is we realize is that persons who are directly affected also have persons who are indirectly affected that need to get the information to be able to help and support their loved ones. So in the month of October, we open all our activities to the public so they will be able to get the information to assist and help their loved one. And the international team for baby loss awareness this year is Together We Care. So we really need to be that holistic community development aspect to help persons navigate through baby loss.
And provide that support. Now, Candice, tell us where you fit in all of this.
Well, I first heard about the group on Facebook. I can't remember the year. Say 3 years ago. One of these signature events that they were promoting at the time, the Sip and Paint. And I signed up for it, and I really enjoyed it. The person who did the session, because it was a virtual session, you got your kit, and then she talked you through the process. I guess she's a registered holistic therapist.
Yes. Miss Della Sarolox is the art therapist.
And I really enjoyed it. And as well, my family, they were also there looking on the process. And a couple of my children who are interested in art, they didn't have their kits, but they have their art supplies. So they also started to follow in the activity, and they really engaged in the whole piece of it. And I think it was really a good point for me in terms of creating more closure, more comfort, in that there are other persons going through it. You have the support system. And for those who are willing to share, the raw emotion of the lack of family support or even how to go about dealing with that. And that's what really drew me to saying, okay, I want to be a part of this group.
Excellent. And tell us a little more of what you do, the pre and postnatal fitness coach. What does that involve?
Well, the pre and postnatal fitness involves exercises that are simple, safe, and effective for mothers who are pregnant, women who are pregnant, and those who would have gone through the birthing process, either with or without their children. The activities are usually geared at helping you with your day-to-day activities, so chores. A lot of the times we have the challenge of, for example, one person may have gone through multiple miscarriages. And that's where I come in, because living in our world where we have more sedentary lifestyles, our bodies are not necessarily primed and for that. So while it's best to have a planned pregnancy because you're taking the steps towards preparing for that, that's not always the case. So a lot of persons may still have the taboo idea of, after the baby, I'll get in. But it really is beneficial to you to help strengthen your body, to help go through the process, talk with someone who would have gone through the experience, learn how to coach, even in terms of the labor pains, the dietary constraints, because it's not just myself. I work with a team of other health professionals because my husband and I, we have a fitness business, Keystone Fitness. So we also work with a lot of persons that help to guide you through the process in as safe as possible, considering what may be underlying conditions like high blood pressure, as Makida would have mentioned, eclampsia. So it's not a broad brush concept. It's customized to you. And the ultimate goal is for you to have a safe pregnancy experience and even beyond that. So, for example, women who may have gone through cesarean, there's particular exercise that you can do that helps to re-stimulate the scar tissue, because a lot of women, even 20 years later, speak about that area.
Yeah, that's never heals. I have 2 C-sections. It just seems never to heal.
Even at that late stage, you still have options and exercises where you can stimulate the nerves, because there isn't really a technique for this cesarean.
And I just want Makida to tell us the meeting invitation to all of us on the 2nd of October. Tell us the time, the location, and in case you were wondering, of course, the meeting is free, so you don't have to worry about that. You just need to be there. So tell us where and the time.
So the event is carried for the 2nd of October. So that's the Wednesday, the first Wednesday in the month of October. That's when we normally have our monthly meetings. It's at 5 p.m. at the Scarborough Library, and it's a public place, and I think it's very easy accessible for everyone in Tobago. And we really want persons to come out and engage the discussion, because what we find is that persons in society today still seldom speak about baby loss. They seldom speak about the pros and the cons or the challenges that they may have faced during and after pregnancy. So we have a panel of speakers. Candice is one of them. She will be basically looking at the post and prenatal part of it, and in terms of the fitness perspective. We have Dr. Alina Williams. She is a certified clinical psychologist. She would have facilitated a couple of events with us virtually and physically for the past 4 years. And we welcome her and thank her in advance. And we have Hyacinth Stephenson. She is a clinical massage therapist. She will basically be coming to explore the different ways from a fitness perspective and a health perspective as well, as to what we can do as women who would have been directly or indirectly affected by infancy loss, navigate through the journey together. Because what we realize is that in society, 1 in 4 women experience infancy loss. We normally hear about breast cancer, we normally hear about diabetes, we normally hear about all different types of activities, but we seldom hear about different causes that promote and build awareness for baby loss, and that is what we are striving to do this October.
Excellent. And on the 15th of October, 7 p.m., you also have another signature event.
Yes, the Baby Loss International Wave of Light. When we started this event, we started it in 2020 in the heat of the pandemic. However, life has changed and we kind of coming out of the pandemic zone. So this event is open to the public. This event in Tobago, it's going to be the 5th year that it's been recognized in Trinidad and Tobago. However, this event is in its 22nd year of being recognized internationally. Basically, what happens is that each candle that is lit at 7 p.m. in your time zone represents a baby. So what we do between the 1st to the 14th, we collect names. So we have the link available if persons are interested. We collect names and we light a baby for each name that is submitted. And when our time zone is ended, because we light the candle from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., this candle is going to be lit in another country. So that's why they call it an international wave of light. And this is in the 22nd year of being celebrated. It was started in 2003 in the UK and in the United States of America. And we are continuing that process.
Right. Thank you so much, ladies. And for those of you who may know someone who would have experienced the loss of their baby, be it a miscarriage or stillborn, and you know, I was looking at what your foundation does and even some of the international foundations, and I saw a slogan, stillborn,
still loved,
you know, and still born.
Yes.
And it resonated with me. And again, women, we have to be brave and bold. I know some of us are very private, but when you share like Makida does, it gives strength to those who are following in that experience. No one plans this. No one wants to go through it. And I think what you're doing resonates with me because I had a miscarriage in 2017. And every time that month comes around, it's not a happy time. And, you know, even the healthcare professionals, because I remember when the process started to happen, it was late in the evening and no private facilities were open. My doctor wanted an ultrasound, so he said, you have to do it first thing in the morning. And I had to go home. And I'm like, am I supposed to sleep? You know, what's going on? It was so terrible. And I felt so sorry for my husband because I could tell he didn't know what to do and how to be there for me. He tried, you know, and I'm saying people have to go through this. Like I have to go home. Can I not go to the hospital? You know, that kind of thing and be taken care of. And then the next morning, you know, I got contractions and I was just 3 months pregnant. And I thank the doctor who dealt with me. That's Dr. Benoit, because she brought that baby to me and she allowed me to see. The nurse was very mad with her, but she said, no, she needs closure. And she did it because she knew me and she said, not everybody can handle it, but I know this patient and it will be better for her. And I always hold on to that. I really appreciate that. So let us be, it's not an easy thing to talk about. You know, I saw Makida's eyes getting glassy when she was sharing with us. And that's expected, right? So be there for those of us who have gone through it. And women, those of us who have gone through, you'd be amazed. Sometimes your very close friends you talk to may have kept it private. They have gone through it. So let's be there, support the event, October 2nd, 5 p.m. at the library. There is parking right across the street. And by that time, most people have gone home. So there's time. And of course, on the 15th. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing with us this morning. Thank you, viewers. We go for a quick break. And our lone gentleman guest is joining me on the other side of this break. So stay tuned.
It's a brand new morning.